Well, boys, week 6 is in the books. Got an interesting week 7 for everyone. Got some new stuff, changes. And because last week I ran for 18 minutes, I thought I'd show some other people's faces. Got a great wheel spin from Duckworth. Week 7 is starting off just fine, boys. Here we go. Coburn's callouts, week 7. So, week 6 started with the same pain for me. Another loss to Richards. He played very poorly. I assume he had other things going on. I'm not 100% sure. Kramer apparently had a standing ovation for his best man speech, Richards. So, we all know why he was there. Think about that next time you pick a best man. So, Richards kicked my butt. I only scored 70 points. I had 2 wide receivers that scored 0 points. Good job. John got the win. Kind of a surprising win in my opinion since he is suffering a lot of injuries, so must have got pretty lucky there when he gets his players back. And now he has the addition of Kelsey. Watch out, world. Looking like that Schlafly League is going to be tough. He's not in the Schlafly League though, but for future reference. Caleb took the win and is now our number 1 seed. Give it up for Steel Reserve. Give it down for that. He beat Duckworth, who was originally the 1 seed, so pretty good for him. Whoa! Kramer showing up. Sup, dude? 134 points, last minute win. Big tromp down the field for a touchdown to seal the deal. Evan, buddy, we're going to talk about you a little bit later on. Some hard times. Some hard times ahead. Maybe you're saving it. As long as you get that 6th seed, as long as you make it in the wild card, you'll be all right, I think. Look at this. You guys see that? How did I get there? That's cool. Could put things through it. And then Matt took down Mr. Eli. Did I feel like I missed somebody? Oh, I did. Matt took down Eli and is in 4th. So look at that. We got a 1st, a 4th, and then me and Zach in Steel Reserve. And then finally, Coleman, whose presence returned, took the faded Scroodle Craig. Awesome. So we have to talk about the biggest defeat, which I talked about earlier, was Caleb romping Mr. Duckworth, who was the number 1 seed. That seems, that must have been a bad week. Buys, not sure. Anyway, Duckworth spun the wheel. I hope you all watched it. He let me pick. Well, he didn't. The wheel did. He FaceTimed, so it was real, I didn't cheat. And I chose Berrios. For 1, it's new, which is cool. And 2, it's right by Coburn's Choice, and I'm not smart enough to not, think of my own things. So, good video. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Let's check it out.
Hello and welcome to this week's Wheel of Misery Punishment. I got Coburn's Choice. As you can see, he chose Berrios. Unfortunately, the only cereal I have in my house is the Life cereal you see here. We're going to pair it with this lovely Public House Giddy Goat Coffee Milk Stout. So I'm hoping that won't be terrible. Let's see what happens. I'll make a decent little bowl here. God, this feels disgusting already. Don't know if I can give you a shot of what that looks like. Just wonderful. My other task here is to read some news headlines. So, here we go. I'll start with a fork so I don't get all the beer and make it super disgusting. Not bad. Actually, it just tastes like kind of coffee and light cereal. Okay. At any rate, Sudan and Israel agree to normalize relations in U.S. brokered deal. So that's pretty exciting. Less exciting news. The U.S. topped 70,000 coronavirus cases in one day. Heights not seen since July. Somehow this is front page news on NPR, by the way, where we're getting these headlines. A high school dropout finds support on road from prison to law school. So that is exceptional. Good for that high school dropout. I wonder what they were in prison for. Hope it was like goat theft. Giddy goat theft. This really isn't terrible. I mean, it's not good, but good pairing. Recommend. I mean, if you have to do this, I wouldn't eat this normally. Also, finally, researchers find doubts about COVID-19 vaccine among people of color. Go figure. Racism in America. I'm going to take one big bite for the camera. And that's all we'll end.
Guys, it's not that painful. I mean, it's fun for us to watch, but it's not. I mean, it's not that bad. Good job, Duckworth. Well, terrible job, Duckworth. You lost. You're terrible. You suck. That's embarrassing. A few notes, if I may. Everyone. Fork. You're not an unintelligent man. There are no rules about the utensil for which you use to eat the cereal. 2, I appreciate the pour, both in cereal and in beer. Respect, you gotta do it right. Good job. Let's see, other comments. Good choice on beer. Wonder how that is by itself. I don't know if you finished it off. News articles were rough, It doesn't have to be top headlines. They're your headlines. You're supposed to share with us what you think is important in this world. Think of it as your own presidential debate, so to speak. Okay? That's all I have to say. I appreciate it. You did great. Now, in a change of pace, before we get on to Week 7 matchups, Chris Kramer, a.k.a. The Best Man, it's a superhero nickname, called me this week. Apparently, my rants are a bit too random and don't have enough information to really keep you captivated. So he decided to give me a call, ask me some questions. I thought I'd return the favor. So we were just talking a little bit of fantasy football. See how it went.
Hey there, boys and girls, and welcome to this week's edition of Fuck Yourself in the Face. You got your hosts here, Jacob Coburn and Chris Kramer, and we're going to tell you what's really happening in the world of football, fantasy football, and anything else we feel like talking about. Question 1, we'll kick it off right away. Question 1 to Coburn. I had an amazing last-second victory this week. Is this a turning point or the flukiest of flukes?
Turning point? Kramer? Really? You have 579 total points. You're the only one that hasn't gotten to 600 yet. You think it's a turning point. The person you beat has 700 points, which we should talk about later. What's Evan doing? I have no idea. Look, your division is the winningest division of all the divisions, and you are far, far behind. You have no chance. Now look, this week you have Matt, next week you have me, but then you have to play everyone in your division. And I'm sorry to say, things are not going to improve. This is it for you. It's you and me in the Teddy Bowl. All right, Kramer, since you're probably getting the Teddy Bowl, we got a bunch of teams that are 4-2, doing pretty well. Most of them in your league. So who's making the playoffs this year? You got one from each division. Who's making the playoffs?
Who's making the playoffs? Let's start with who's not making the playoffs out of those 4-2 teams. Have you looked at Matt Stockstill's roster lately? You think the corpse of Frank Gore pumping out 6 points per game is going to keep getting it done week over week? And has Matt ever made the playoffs? He's essentially the Cleveland Browns of our fantasy league, and it's been 18 years since they've made the playoffs. So Matt's not making it. I don't care what his record currently is. Who do I see breaking away? None of them. Why? Because they're going to spend the next 3 weeks beating the shit out of each other. We're in for a tight race here with 2 other teams in Eli and somehow Evan Campbell, neither being 4-2, yet being 1-2 in points overall. This is going to be a tight race from start to finish, with the exception of you and me, who are effectively eliminated. Question back to you, Coburn. We are 6 weeks in. Who do you have as fantasy MVP, and why is it Ryan Tannehill?
Okay, Ryan Tannehill, I don't think so. First of all, Matt has won the Teddy how many times? Where it's going to be changed to the Matt soon enough. My 18-minute rambling yesterday should have made it pretty obvious that I think Alvin Kamara is the top player in fantasy. The leading scorer in non-quarterback play, pretty impressive. Now, of course, with CMC out, my team should have been the MVP. With him out of the question, I actually think I traded away the MVP of the league. Hear me out. Travis Kelce has scored 30 more points than any other tight end in the entire league. Now, George Kittle was out for a couple of games, but as far as MVP, most valuable player, one person at a position that outscores everyone every single week, that is definitely my MVP. So, speaking of trading, Evan Campbell, let's talk about him for a second. Made some trades. Love to see the boldness. Love to see him going out there. But what's going on? Is he smart or is he stupid?
Oh, he's absolutely stupid. He's a crazed lunatic. There's no mastermind. There's no grand plan. He took Michael Thomas, who's played a half a game this year, who's gotten me 3.5 points, who hasn't come back on the field, who's injured yet again this week when he re-injured that hamstring. So no, he's crazy. They gave me a 2nd-round pick for someone who may not see the field for several more weeks. Well, he's sitting at 1-5. He thinks he's going to get the value back. No way. No person in their sane mind is going to trade a 2nd round for Michael Thomas. Have you seen Drew Brees' performance? He's just doing little chucks to Alvin Kamara, who, like you just said, you're MVP. I do question that, though. Ryan Tannehill, have you seen his value, though? It's not just about how many points they score. About when they were drafted and what you expected out of him. Ryan Tannehill has been free points for everyone who picked him up. And that's only half of the crazy moves Evan Campbell made. Mostert, okay, maybe a bit of an overpay, followed shortly, literally minutes later, by the news that he was out for this week with basically an unknown injury. I think it's now a high ankle sprain. Yeah, buddy, you're in trouble. He's not coming back for a while either. That's a 2nd and a 3rd round pick that you just waved away to be 1-5. Well done. Last question, back to you, Coburn. We have 3 1-5 teams. You and me both being one of them. Who's your actual pick for last place, and why is it not me?
Good question. Well, I have to say, based on Evan's play this week, he was ambitious to say the least, but if there's a bonehead award, it definitely goes to him. Out of the 1-5 teams so far, I don't think Evan is going to end up in last place. At some point, he's going to get those 2 players you named back from injury, and maybe next year is his Teddy year, but I think there's going to be a good fight between you and me on who is going to get it. Luckily, both of us were smart, trading away what value we have for next year, so I guess we're in the league at least one more year no matter what. I don't know, man. I'm going to have to give it to you. You're already the low-scoring guy. I have a bunch of players that are on injured reserve that could come back right around playoff time. I will say the good thing about playoffs is it's an any given Sunday thing. Depending on matchups, who's healthy, who's hurt, people can win or lose. I mean, maybe neither of us will even make it to the championship Teddy Bowl. But you never know. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see, play the regular season out to get as few losses as possible, and hope that we get out of the first round of the Teddy Bowl. What do you think?
Absolutely. There's no way either of us are going to lose it. That's absolutely the right answer. It's going to be some other schmuck who doesn't know what they're doing. Probably Matt Stockstill.
Probably going to be Matt. I don't know. I mean, Evan's making a real run for it, but he is picking up players that, if they come back, has a chance.
So I've asked Kramer This isn't going to be a weekly thing, but, you know, every once in a while, when he feels the tingle in his nips to call one of you guys, ask a few questions, have a few responses. Let's learn as we grow into fantasy football awesomeness. All right, guys, time for week 7. We're getting into buys. People are coming off injuries. People are coming on to injuries. I did it. I did it. First try. That was pretty good. So we got a lot of 4-2 teams. Is that right? Or are we in the 5? Yeah, 4-2 teams. Got a lot of 4-2 teams. Got 3 1-5 teams. I would say things are still open, but the bad teams got to win and the good teams got to lose. I'm playing Coleman this week. He's kind of an intermediate team. Some stuff on his stuff. Hopefully he doesn't stuff it, you know? So I'm going with me on the win this week. Matt is playing Kramer, and you saw that I thought Matt was weak, but weak is 4th. Matt is 4th. Weak is 4th. Obviously, I'm going to give the win to Matt. Sorry, Kramer. I have no chance, so now I'm rooting for Steel Reserve now. It's a new thing. I want 1, 2, 3. Caleb, not in this order. Caleb, Matt, Zach. Let's dominate, okay? I'll take up the rear. It's fine. Matt for the win. On the other side, we have Duckworth, our recent wheel spinner, playing John. So this is confusing because John got the wheel spin and then he won. And now Duck got the wheel spin, so will he win? It doesn't matter. I still think John has too many injuries. When he starts getting... Oh, he had buys, not injuries. Yeah, I'm going to give John the win. And then we got Zach playing Eli. Neither of them had a very impressive Thursday. It was the Giants versus the Jets. Who would have expected an impressive Thursday? I guess I'm going to give the win to Zach just because I said I'm a Steel Reserve fan now. Caleb playing Craig, Scriddle Craig. Caleb just has a little bit of an edge according to Yahoo. I would say based on the players, depends on Aaron Rodgers really for me. It depends on the Green Bay Packers. If they do well, it's going to be Scriddle Craig. But I'll give it to Caleb just because I'm not a Packers fan. And Aaron Rodgers dated Danica Patrick, and I'm a race car fan, and I know that she sucks. So he's an idiot, and I don't like him. There you go. Now you know the explanation. Last we got Richards playing Evan. Evan, buddy, for love, for community, I'm going to give you the win. I'm going to say you're going to get it. You deserve it. You've been working really hard. I appreciate the participation. Where are the rest of you guys out there? You're just sitting there on your bums with your thumbs up your bums, you know? Do something. Participate. Be somebody. Evan gets the win. That's week 7. Those are my predictions. I hope that this week was new and interesting. I hope we can continue to make things fun and exciting. If Kramer doesn't get 20 views this week on YouTube, it may crush his soul. So get out there, look at it. Look at it from your iPhone, look at it from your iPad, your computer. Get your wives, girlfriends. If you guys have other friends outside of fan, if Kramer doesn't get 20 views, we'll have to watch him. Look, this has been a fun week 7. Look at that. Almost got a whole beer. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Here's to fantasy football. Go Chiefs. See you guys in week 8.